Good morning, folks. Hope everybody's well. Absolutely fantastic weather we're having at the moment. Also fantastic weather for parasites, which is always a pain in the backside, but we'll take that. I think it's probably about 8:30, maybe, something like that. Saturday the 25th. Spawning, my God. I've got males like horny teenagers producing mills the minute you touch them, and females that are just playing hard to get. It's absolutely nuts. So plan B, C, D, E, F and G, I just haven't worked. Both of these males in here, Benny Pico from the Map Gardener line from New Forest Koi, and the Aragogi Chiba, Kogeda Chiba, in with the Kajaku female again. The young Kajaku female just wasn't playing a game, and I couldn't get any milk out of him. And the older one just didn't seem to show any interest. So he's back in with the others. But this pairing that was a late spawning last year, the Chiba and the Kajaku, and they did throw out some nice stuff. With some Yamabuki runs in there. There were a couple of Chiba types in there. And he's metallic as well, so it's a metallic mix with them all in here. So not a spawning that was top of the list, but she looks the most likely to go in these two. I flipped them over yesterday to check them for mills, and by God, yeah, as soon as I touched the bellies, there was milk coming out. So yeah, this is my biggest hope. We're 18.3 at 8 o'clock in the morning. This will probably get somewhere close to 24 degrees today in here. Water temperature set in the greenhouse. So we'll see what happens. But I've got loads of video of fish looking like they're going to spawn. I've tried the platinum ogon female in here. They looked like they were going to spawn, but, you know, on command, but she just did not let go. So I've removed the net. I think the net was disturbing them, so that's over there ready for when I do need to get them in. I've got the filter on at the moment. Obviously you can hear that. I've turned it so that it's bubbling against the wall rather than pushing flow round, and I have got a couple of air stones in because as it warms up the oxygen will deplete. But later on tonight I'll turn the filter off a bit later on and let the water calm down a little bit, because that's probably too turbulent. It won't stop them pairing up, and it won't stop air becoming ready, but it might put them off spawning. So later on, about 6 o'clock, something like that, I'll turn that off, and I might just put a light spray of water over the top of the pond as well, and see whether that brings it in, because it's all about the females. If she's not ready, then it doesn't matter how much attention she's going to get from them. It doesn't matter how ready they are. She's not going to give off those pheromones and get them going. So we'll see. I'm excited. There'll be some interesting fights. There's some very nice ones, like I say, not part of the plan. The Sheroes were the big plan for this year. Unfortunately, I thought I would get a spawn out of them, and I did, but I didn't realise that the temperature crash was going to be so bad. Plus, it's a unproven male, and in fairness, the female is unproven. She's spawned before, but she hasn't produced fried before. She went in here. I put it in here last year to get the eggs out of it, because she was huge with them, and I didn't want to get an egg bound, and I wanted to make sure she produced good eggs for this year. So as soon as I put it in, she fired the eggs out. So they spawned, as you've all seen, but unfortunately absolutely nothing hatched. But we did have those temperature drops. You know, we were up at 22 when they spawned, and within 2 nights of that, the water temperature here was down to 8 degrees. So I'm putting it down to that. I also didn't have the filtration going, so I think the ammonia levels added to that as well didn't help. Obviously I know I can spawn because I've done it before. I've done it many times, and I can get fish to spawn, and I know I can raise fry. I need to stop tinkering and just do what I've done previously. I'm a bugger for messing about. So other than the filter being on right now, this is the setup that's always worked. I've got a few more brushes. I might put a couple more brushes in as well. I think the water level is a touch higher than I would normally have it at the moment, and I would normally have more brushes in, but I wanted to give them space to swim around and for the female to come into condition. You can see there, she is big, she's heavy with eggs, she's got a nice soft belly, but still just not quite doing it. The males are swimming around quite happily, not bothering it, so clearly she's not putting out the pheromones at the moment. So, but we will get one. We've got another sort of week or so of really nice weather, and it's warming up anyway, so they will spawn at some point, but in their own sweet time. We'll have a look around now and see what else is happening. So these guys in here are looking well. Bit of foam on the top, bit of protein scum on the top of the water, but a couple of them still carrying a touch of card pops, but it's a big female zero. Skin ring shag I bred myself. So there's some nice fish in here, and yeah, they're going well. Shower's working in trees, plants are loving it. Other than the scum on the water. Look at me still in my dressing gown. Whoa. Extreme close up. So yeah, these are good. But yeah, typical Saturday morning, walking around the garden in my dressing gown. With a cup of coffee. Chickens are loving life in their new run. Starlings are eating all my bloody mealworms. So yeah, chickens are thoroughly enjoying it in there, and life is good. You can't beat the first egg of the morning. Well, you can beat it, you can crack and put it in a bowl, but first egg of the morning, lovely. And I think something else that's important to note, as you guys will know, I've picked up some koi from a guy shutting his pond down, and they were bigger than I was expecting them to be anyway. They're in here, and they were doing okay. A couple of days ago, really lethargic, you know, sitting at the bottom, not feeding, and I thought, oh God, they've been in the same pond for 20 odd years. They've got koi sleeping sickness, they've crashed. So I've got some salt in, salted it up to 0.3. And then do you know what, I realised I've only had small fish in here, and I've just had the return on over there going in, and it suddenly dawned on me, and I don't know why it took so bloody long, but it is an oxygen crash. I've put the air pump on, whacked the stone in over there, whacked the stone in there, and the stone in there on full tilt about 30-40 minutes ago, and the difference now, I mean, you can see them swimming around. So look, even people who've been doing this for a couple of years, and I am certainly no expert by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, there's probably very few people with koi who can be experts, because they're so bloody different in everybody's ponds. But don't forget, this time of year when it's warming up, and we've had some really hot days, oxygenation is absolutely critical, and I took my eye off the ball there. Now thankfully I had an epiphany, and I got it sorted, and these guys are much better up and about, swimming around. I'll keep the food off for a couple of days, let them get themselves sorted, but plenty of aeration going in there, and they're much happier. They've mucked it, well, the air's mucked all the water up, brought all the silt and everything off the bottom, what have you, but the multi-bay is great, so I'll give that a clean out and get that sorted. But yeah, just, you know, hopefully we can all learn from each other's mistakes, but that was a big one of mine, not putting the air stones in. Bloody annoyed with myself really, because it was an obvious thing, but thankfully I got on top of it before anything serious happened, and they're back swimming around and enjoying themselves. So we'll just keep that going, so make sure they recover properly, keep the salt level up, keep off the food for a couple of days, and then we'll go again. The teller will be when they start eating, because they were eating like crazy when they got here. They were all over it. They were on a cheaper food, not the worst, but yeah, not great, but it was a hobbyist. He's had them for years, he's had them on the same stuff, why would he change it? Yeah, he's just a pond keeper, rather than a koi keeper, if that makes sense. So I've now got them on my food, which brings me on to a nice shameless plug. So you'll have to excuse the mess in here because we've got chicken food and sawdust and everything while I'm sorting my sheds out. But yeah, this is the stuff. They gave me a big bag of it. Complete balanced pond food. The coloured sticks. Yeah, so far from ideal, but they've been on it, they've enjoyed it, and he's kept them on it. But as you all know, I've been a massive advocate and fan of the Jiwa food, and I know that there's been several trials. I don't know, Rick down at New Forest Koi thought it was excellent. I know there was some tests going on there, but bang for buck, I know Nutrimare's close, and I've not tried Nutrimare, so I can't comment on that at all, but I'm not going to, because this stuff for me is the absolute bollocks. It's superb. It does everything. The fish look great on it, the body on them, the skin quality is absolutely superb. So I've got the wheat germ and the staple there, and I'm just mixing that together. The growth is fantastic, the colour is fantastic. It's been, I've used it now for the last, I think this is the 3rd season I've used it. Certainly this will be the 2nd full season I've used it, but it's fantastic. And it's great. You used to be able to just get it from Pride and Joy Koi, from Mark at Pride and Joy Koi. Goes to all the shows and you'll see it there. But the only stockist now in the UK in terms of a fish supplier is Mad Dog, Westcroft Koi. I went down there the other week to see him for his open day. Fantastic place. As I said, it's superb. It's a great shop. You know, when you think, oh, it's his back garden, it's not. His back garden is phenomenal. With the smokers, with the outside kitchen and everything, and him and Teresa are superb hosts, absolutely brilliant people. Now he's stocking this, and he's got really good deals on it, and he's got it in stock alongside other foods as well. But he is the only stockist, so if you're down that way or you want to get in touch with Glyn at Westcroft Koi, get hold of him, get onto some of that. As far as I know, Mark's the only importer from Pride and Joy Koi, and he's a smashing fella as well. You'll see him at all the shows. But if you haven't tried it, give it a go. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I've got the 3mm there. I had some 6mm kicking around as well, but I've got some smaller fish, so I tend to put the 3mm on, because even the bigger fish suck that down and they digest it much easier, especially if you're using wheat germ over the winter. But yeah, I've got it in an old Takazumi tub here. This thing self-seals like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to end up spilling this everywhere, aren't I? Bear with me, gang. Sorry about going dark for a minute there. So yeah, I need to stop mixing this, but you can see some of the 6mm in there, and that's some of the staple, some of the wheat germ in there. And it's great. You don't get any of that sandy, gritty crap in the pond. In fact, we'll take that and give them a bit of a food, bit of a go at it. Yeah, don't get any of the gritty stuff. Pop my beer table up. And they love it. They love it. We'll give the big fella a look. We'll go at it here. So, and they'll all come up and have a chomp. With that, and as the water temps come up and they start feeding a bit more furiously, they absolutely bubble at it. And it's great. I mean, look, you can see the skin quality and the condition of the fish. Bang on. So yeah, really happy with this stuff. It's great. So get on to Mad Dog, Westcroft Koi, give him a shout, and see what he's got, see if he's got any deals on, and get it in there. But look at that, love it. All right, gang, I'll catch up soon, hopefully with some news on a positive spawning.